Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Shalom, all praises, glories, and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of great millstone who have taught me the truth, as well as men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom I so called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. You guys say Shalom, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Tazah. This lesson is edifying. Now, Slovakia, if you can't really hear me because of the noise in the background, I'm by the waters, just meditating on everything that's been going on concerning prophecy. And the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai inspired me to do this lesson. Because what has been going on as of lately is a lot more people are starting to make a run on these different gas stations to refill their gas. As there's a saying, there's a run in the bank. When people would run in the bank to go and take out all their money. Well, now there's a run in gas because people are seeing that the price of gas has skyrocketed due to a recent cyber attack on a major pipeline that has disrupted its flow. Okay, and people are going to these different gas stations with guns as they refuel their bags or their tanks, to protect themselves, because they understand that eventually people are going to start getting desperate. And there's a saying that desperate times calls for desperate measures. And the time's going to come when people will only fend for themselves, individually, that is, because there's going to be every man for himself out here when the Lord increases judgment upon this land and brings Jacob's trouble upon the world, upon you Israelites. Okay, and he's going to use these Edomites as his sword to execute judgment upon you for your rebelliousness, for your idolatry, your witchcrafts, and everything that you've done and still do in pride and in rebellion, contrary to his laws. No matter how much you're being told by the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai globally, beginning with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to repent and forsake your evil ways and return back unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. No matter how much you're being told and have been told, you still continue to rebel and scoff and scorn and mock the messengers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Therefore, you will eat the fruits of your own doings and of your own goings. So again, this is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Now the sword is an instrument of cruelty. The modern day sword comes in the form of the gun, in the form of a pistol, assault rifle, a grenade launcher, a rocket launcher, and ultimately those ICBM nuclear missiles, which are the weapons of the Lord's indignation, which means righteous anger, according to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 25. And these instruments are the blessing of his sword, according to the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter. And the sword are the Edomites, so-called Caucasian race. Okay, according to the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 13, and Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Okay? Esau, Edom is the wicked, according to Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. And again, they are the sword of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, according to the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 13. Okay? And the Lord is going to use them to execute judgment upon the sinners of his people, and say that the evil shall not overtake nor prevent them, according to the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 10. Okay? And the Lord is going to ultimately destroy the land of America, Babylon the Great, while we have 200 million ICBM nuclear missile warheads, according to the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 16. Okay? And so now we know what the sword is, for those that may not have known. So the scripture reads on to say, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. And these things have been happening on a very small to medium scale, but they will, as time moves on, begin to increase in degree, okay, and sizes. And we're going to start seeing these things happening a lot more in America, Babylon the Great, as well as globally. We're going to start seeing race wars, high tensions between the different nations, between the nation of Israel and the nation of Edom, okay, against Moab and Edom, so on and so forth. There will be race wars, okay? One people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. We're going to see all these things happen during the time of Jacob's trouble, okay? And we will start to see a lot more people walking around with firearms for fear of their lives, and to also, pretty much, you know, call themselves running shit, so to speak, to get by. And a good example of that is the game Division. You know, people will walk around with guns, protect themselves, and also various movies as well. But I mean, you brothers and sisters understand the point. The point is that people out here are going to take actions into their own hands, and to protect themselves and their families, they will arm themselves. Okay, and they will start to kill each other, shoot each other down, break into each other's homes, and pillage each other's homes, and so on and so forth. Okay, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Sedition. What is sedition? Sedition is incitement of resistance to or insurrection against lawful authority. So there will be resistance or insurrection against lawful authority among men, because men will no longer regard their authorities. Men will no longer regard their governments. And we've been seeing that. People are fighting against their government. Okay? They're inciting insurrections and protests and resistances against their governments. Okay? It says, and invading one another. Men are going to start invading the homes of one another, breaking into each other's homes, killing each other, raping each other's wives and daughters, and killing each other's sons and infants. Men are not going to have pity upon each other and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Why? Because there shall be sedition among men, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people won't regard their governments and their mayors and their local authorities, because they're gonna place the course of their own actions into their own hands, because at that time they're going to be resisting their authorities. It says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because all these different major cities and towns are all, as they have been last year, locked down. Okay? They're all going to be locked down. They're all going to be blocked off, and no one will be able to leave or go, just like in the Batman. If you've seen the Batman, the first Batman that they recently came out with in 2000, I believe, 7. But if it's a few years earlier than that, forgive me for getting the date. Basically, in the Batman, they basically blocked off anyone from leaving Gotham and coming in. Okay, this was a Batman that Ra's al Ghul. If you keep it with DC Comics and whatnot, was in. I forgot the name of the actors, but you got the point. The reason to say, but because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right, so the houses are going to be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, because men are going to be as women on that day. Their hearts are going to melt in the midst of Babylon the Great. Okay, as you, and especially you women, you proud feminist women, most of us are going to deal with you women, man. All you proud, we can and they can't feminism bullshit that you push. Guess what's going to happen when the Lord brings judgment on that day, on those days, in those days? You're going to be fucked up. And a lot of you're going to perish, except for the elect women, okay? Because the Lord is going to reserve, his elect. Now, you will have some elect that will be martyrs, of course, but you will have those as well that the Lord is going to reserve, okay, for his elect men. Now, it reads on to say, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. So because of their pride, all these cities are going to be troubled, man. It says, a man shall have no pity, and this is the point, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, with the gun, shoot each other's homes up, blow each other's homes up. They shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, take all their victuals in the form of their water, their drinks, their liquor, and their food, all that stuff. They're going to spoil it because of the lack of bread. Why? Because there's going to be a famine. And all this gas shortage, what's going to happen is that it's going to lead to a famine, because it's going to prevent truckers from being able to bring in fresh goods from the depots to these different cities into their major supermarkets, like their Key Foods, their Walmarts, so on and so forth. And what's going to happen is that that's going to cause a run on those stores to occur, or people are going to start buying things up rapidly, and then eventually start looting to the point where the store is going to be left with nothing. And then that's going to start to create famine. So it's going to cause you some huge chain reactions, man. Things are going to get really bad out here for you people. For those that don't trust in the names and call upon the names of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Because the scripture says that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and are safe. Okay? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So there's going to be great tribulation out here, man. This is going to be bad. And a lot of you niggas love to eat chicken, man. Jake loves chicken. And guess what? All that is going to be done. And all you scoffers and scorners that like to, sit back behind your computer screen with your Cheetos and one hand and your glass of drink in the other, your Kool-Aid. All that shit is gonna be done, man. All that shit is gonna be exhausted, and you're gonna starve and perish in the famine. And all the things that the Lord is gonna bring upon this land, upon this world, man, for your scornings and your mockings and your great pride. So, pretty much with that, I hope this lesson was edifying, Lord's willing. It was edifying to the elect. Until the next Lord's willing, I say shalom, and Lord's willing, you could have heard me, while I was recording this lesson. So with that, I say shalom.